If you're anything like most investors in Australia, then you've been watching Brisbane with a keen eye over the last 12 months now. As people that have bought over $300 million worth of property in Brizzy now, we wanted to share 4 of the suburbs that we love, not just for today, but for the next 15 to 20 years as well. So man, let's talk about one of the suburbs that I love, 6 k's from the city, Cannon Hill.
Yeah, dude, absolutely love this one. Now, look, I have written down some information here because as much as I'd love to say I've got all this stored up in my head, I just don't want to get any of these numbers wrong. Now, first things first, what we absolutely love about Cannon Hill is its proximity to the CBD, only being about 6 k's from the city. Now, right now, the median house price is sitting at about $970,000, but if you were to be looking for properties there right now, you're probably going to have to set those expectations a little bit higher, because over the last 12 months, Cannon Hill has been one of Brisbane's top performing suburbs, increasing by over 21% in the last 12 months, which is nuts. And then looking over the last 10 years, it's sort of gone up roughly about 5% per annum. But one of the absolute best things that we love about Cannon Hill is the demographics that live there. You've got really high income earners, with the average household income being around $1,871 per week, and about 74% owner occupiers in the suburbs. So, you know, looking at the numbers, Cannon Hill absolutely looks amazing. But it's not just about the numbers, right? You've been looking at Cannon Hill for the last 5 or 6 years now. So what's some of the flavour, what's some of that emotion that you like about Cannon Hill?
Man, the biggest mistake I ever made was not buying Cannon Hill when it was 600k.
Right.
I was looking at it, I even had a couple of pieces of land that I went under contract on and then just got too scared and terminated, and I bought the land for like $400,
Oh, bugger,
400k.
man.
But what I love about Cannon Hill is the gentrification that has occurred. So trendy cafes, trendy restaurants, some really, really nice boutique developments that have come in with beautiful, trendy inner city townhouse style living. But most importantly, man, like there's a major road that splits the suburb. And on the southern side of Cannon Hill, I've just watched the hilly side, which is like seen to be the nicer part of the suburb, just go nuts. Like knockdown rebuilds, renovations absolutely everywhere. The other thing I like about the suburb is the rent returns are actually really good. So if you've got a nice property that's well maintained, like there's people with money paying good money for it there.
Man, it's such a good little area. Look, another one of the areas that we really love that's also within 10 kilometres to the city, sort of to the opposite side. Cannon Hill is kind of southeast Brisbane. Over to northwest Brisbane, you've got a little suburb called Keperra. We've been buying there for a little while now and absolutely love it, being only 9 kilometres from the Brisbane CBD. Now, the good thing about Keperra is you can still find some hidden gems, because the median house price right now is sitting at about $680,000. Now, once again, with all of these median house prices, when you go to look at realestate.com, I'm sure you're going to see some higher numbers, because it does take a little while for it to come through the data, but still heaps of value there. Looking over the last 12 months, Keperra's done about 11%, so still really solid performance, probably around roughly some of the average areas a little bit further from the city. And over the last 10 years has done about 3.9% year on year.
So one of the things I love about Keperra is as you get closer to the city, whether it's Mitchelton or like a little bit around in your sort of Kedrons, the prices, which a few years ago were literally like 150 grand difference, and now like almost, 500k to $1 million of difference. So what I love is that this suburb hasn't got that complete knock-on effect of the inner city growth that's occurred in the last few years. And because of that, should have that ripple effect over the coming 5.
Yeah, I absolutely love both of these options for that inner city within 10 kilometre radius from the CBD sort of strategy. But if your budget isn't sitting above basically $900,000 to get into Keperra or Cannon Hill, you can look a little bit further out from the CBD to areas to the north, like Bray Park, which is about 21 kilometres as the crow flies to the north. Now, one of the things that we love about Bray Park is there's some quality demographics up there. There's some good people that live up there, and the average household income is actually over $1,500 per week. So that's one of the really good things. Now, over the last 12 months, Bray Park's increased by about 9.55%. So once again, it has performed quite well over the last 12 months. But over the last 10 years, it's literally only done 3.14. So really underperformed compared to some of the other suburbs that we've been talking about so far. But one of the best things about Bray Park is the fact that the median house price is sitting at that $518,000. So you can still get a really decent property in that $600,000 to $700,000 range.
Love that, man. Like, Bray Park's got a whole lot of good stuff going for it. The train station's just been upgraded. One of the top principals that was at one of the top 10 schools in Brisbane recently moved to Bray Park State Primary School. The state primary school has gone from 2 kindergarten classes to like over 10 kindergarten classes off the back of this principal moving. People have been leaving the CBD to like move there because of the quality of this teacher and principal. On top of that, it's right next to Peachtree, where the brand new largest greenfield university site in Australia is being built right now. 10,000 students in 10 years. You showed me something crazy the other day about some like drone park or drone taxi thing going into Bray Park Peachtree as well.
Yeah, this was crazy. Like, the future is now. There is this like air taxi rank going into Peachtree where you'll be able to commute to Peachtree, jump in a taxi that would take you in the air to the city.
I love it. Like, so much exciting stuff going on. You know, really high quality, big blocks of land, nice brick tile, like, you know, 20 to 30-year-old homes on offer there. Really, really good quality area.
Yeah, so I really like Bray Park as that option between Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast, but there's a great option from Brisbane to the Gold Coast in that corridor called Slacks Creek. Similar sort of distance from the CBD, this one is. It's about 21 k's as the crow flies, but there's still so much affordability down there, and that's what we really love. With the median house price currently sitting at $405,000, there is still some really high value opportunities between the $450,000 to $600,000 range in Slacks Creek. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck. Now, Slacks Creek has actually done extremely well over the last 12 months, recording 11.34 increase over the last 12 months, but the average, the 10-year performance has been 2.69% year on year. So, you know, really stark difference there. So it's completely underperformed over the last 10 years, but finally starting to see some legs. Now, the thing about Slacks Creek is there is a few more renters. There's only about 63% owner-occupiers in the area, but we are starting to see that shift. Talking to agents in the area, there is a lot of first home buyers, a lot of owner-occupiers moving into this area at the moment. So it is starting to gentrify as well.
I love that, man. Like, what I really like about South Brisbane at the moment and a whole bunch of suburbs through that corridor is, as you said, the 10-year performance has been so low because it hasn't been on people's radar. And on top of that, house prices in North Brisbane, the same distance from the city, have probably gone up, 200k in the last 3 years.
Yeah, at least.
Where the southern suburbs have only gone up by about 50k over the same period of time. So starting off a much lower base because of that, very, very strong rent returns down there, very progressive council, ridiculous amounts of infrastructure going in even before the Olympics were proposed. But from our perspective, like, they're 4 extremely good, like, long-term options, whether you're holding for 15 years or 30 years. These are the right types of areas. If you look at these areas in your Sydneys and your Melbournes, you know, we're talking about 50 cents in the dollar here for most of these suburbs at the moment. Great potential with the amount of people moving up here at the moment too.
Yeah.
Now, this is just a handful of the suburbs we buy. We probably look at, another 50 or 60?
Yeah, the reality is there is so much value in Brisbane right now, and we're looking in a bunch of really, really great areas. We've actually just put out our hottest suburbs list on our website, www.pumpedonproperty.com. So if you want to look at some alternative areas, jump over there and download that report. But if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. Head over to our social media as well, Instagram, give us a follow, Facebook, give us a like, and we're just going to try and keep you informed, keep you up to date with some of the suburbs that we love and some of the case studies of properties that we're buying right now. Sweaty, so sweaty. Oh, that's good.